Hey now, hey now. Thank you, Candace. I love that song. Candace sent that to me and she's like, what about this one? I went, oh yeah, oh yeah. Written by Neil Finn, Crowded House, 1986, I think it is. Yeah. Did you look that up or did you know that?
Both. One of my favorite groups.
I know, right? Neil Finn, it is said, he wrote that song as a private message to someone who was withdrawing from their world. It has many implications when you go into the lyrics of that song and you just sit with it and be with it and meditate on it and just feel for the nuances. But he was drawn to write that to someone who was withdrawing from life, from their world. I would love to know the end story of that. But hey now, don't dream it's over. I had shared this talk material with Candace a couple weeks ago, just feeling so called, but not yet knowing where it would lead us. But knowing that we can learn from everything. Whatever is going on in your life in any given moment, not to become so focused on it that we become annoying to all the people around us because we're psychoanalyzing everything and looking at everything through a microscope, but just from the place of being the observer. And I feel like I talk about this a lot. Someone once said, and you may hear me say this again too, we talk about, I feel like I'm singing to the choir, speaking to the choir, singing with the choir, however you want to put it. But someone put a different little nuance on that. Well, yeah, you're speaking to the choir, but the choir has to learn the sheet music. And it takes practice. So it's okay because spirituality is called a practice. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. When you tip me over, wait a minute. Oh, I forgot the most important line. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, hear me shout. Just tip me over and pour me out. How many of you don't even realize, perhaps, or maybe you do, that you may be walking around like that little teapot? And that there's an inner turmoil going on inside of us, right? I had an experience this week. I told a friend of mine I was not going to tell this story. I won't tell you the whole story. I'll tell you the highlights. As a dog walker, I get a lot of stories on walking paths. But there was this guy barreling down one of our walking paths, going so fast. I mean, I know Bella and I walk at about 2.7 miles per hour. I know that because my fitness watch tells me that. So that's the only kind of judge I have, and that and driving my car. This guy was going so fast. Now I have a pattern of standing off the path a little bit because I have a nervous dog. She can be nervous. She's not as nervous as she used to be. So I give a lot of leeway to people so that she doesn't get nervous and, you know, just that whole being polite on the path. But oh my gosh, he was barreling down. It was not very busy out there, but he was coming, we were meeting, but I had just crossed paths with a woman who was now further down towards Rahili, and as he just sped past us, I knew he was going to be coming up right behind that woman. And just feeling annoyed. And I'm sure it wasn't only about him. My energy was low, whatever was going on. I could name a lot of different, in this particular moment, I just realized that I was stressed. And then here comes this guy barreling down a path. I would say, I swear he was doing 25, 30 miles an hour. Can you go that fast on a bike? I don't know. And so I yelled at him to slow down. And he just kept on riding, and he yelled back at me. And I just kept walking, and we were on our way to the car. And I thought about that as I walked to the car. How did I feel inside when my little teapot let off steam in that moment? You know, did I feel relieved? Or was it one of, that may not have been the best choice. Don't know this person. Safety, right? Everything was fine. But it gave me an opportunity to just pay attention to how that made me feel to show up in that way. I don't feel necessarily bad that I did that. Some of my choice of words could have been a little better, but I'm your minister, so I'm not going to share all that.
Toot, toot.
But what I am wanting to convey is sometimes we can take a breath and become a little more aware of our choices in the moment. I had that woman that was ahead of him on the path, very much her safety in my mind. And it's like, come on, dude. Stop it. This is not a racetrack. So see, I'm still feeling a little charged about this. I can learn from everything. And that's a good thing, that we can learn from everything if we are willing. If we are willing to take a moment. Safety, equity, equality. Treating people as you want others to treat you. So, there's a question that I can ask myself. I swear I'm not going to make this talk all about me. But treating people the way you want to be treated. Well, you know what? If I'm being irresponsible and putting other people's safety at risk, I would hope someone would point that out to me. I would want that help and that guidance to say, hey, slow down. Now, would that always feel good if that happens? Maybe not. Maybe yes, maybe not. But we're a team here. We're a body of human souls walking planet Earth. And I feel like we have a responsibility to take care of each other and to pay attention to how it is we are showing up in the world. And what kind of vibration, what kind of frequency we want to put out into the field. Maybe I could have done just as much good, and we've talked about this in our study group, of not saying anything, being still, being silent, and blessing the situation and sending him, just showering him with light and with love. And working at that level. So it gives us me something to think about, right? And in your own lives, when situations show up, how are we choosing to show up? How are we choosing to show up? What are we willing to pay attention to and to learn? Corey Allen, when things don't work out, it's not failure, it's information. Every try that doesn't go how you hoped is a data point. Look at it with a mindful eye and you'll learn where to adjust, what to let go, and how to evolve. Doing this doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're figuring it out and growing in the process. To be oh so very gentle with ourselves when we make a choice that doesn't necessarily feel good, or it leads us briefly down a path that we would prefer not to go on. Where is our level of compassion? Where is our level of understanding the lives of other people? I mean, that guy could have had an emergency and he was on his way to get somewhere to help somebody. What? I don't know, right? What kind of choices can we make in the moment that brings the highest level of love, that raises us to a new level of understanding? When things don't work out, it's not a failure, it's information. And then do the best that we can with that. The famous quote of Thomas Edison, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And then was it him that would go out and lie on a hill under the clouds? It was Edison, right? Go take a nap, meditate, and allow for inspiration to come in, to then go back to his laboratory and maybe make the 10,001 mistake that would then lead him into all of his great discoveries. To be gentle, gentle, gentle. And to stop looking at failure as failure. Pablo Picasso, every act of creation is first an act of destruction. Does that make sense to you? Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. The problem that I have with this quote is that destruction is such a heavy word. But what I think is actually going on here is an act of dismantling a mindset, a dismantling of seeing things one way and allowing for the creation to open up. Doesn't that feel better? Destruction is such a violent, harsh, maybe not violent, but a harsher word than allowing things to fall apart. Someone somewhere along the line with the things I've been reading talks about when you go to clean out a closet, that you take everything out, and what do you end up with? A mess. That you then have to sort through, decide what to keep, what not to keep, and then very orderly put things back in. But first you have to bring it all out. You have to be willing to open it up to see what is there that needs to be healed, that needs to be cleaned, and then allow for that beautiful creation to take place. I love this quote. The creation of 1,000 forests is one acorn. One creative step, one choice to do things from a more loving place than from a harsh place. From a place of judgment, of harshness. That one acorn that can take you into a beautiful place of knowing more, of understanding more. of seeing things differently, of being willing to come to your life being teachable. Have you heard that word? One of my teachers used to say, are you teachable? Are you teachable? Are you willing to see things differently? Are you willing to stop being so harsh on yourself and allow yourself to take those lessons of the things that you're still beating yourself up for and turn them into a beautiful lesson that shows how amazing and wise you are? I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Do that for yourself as well. In your own meditations, to love yourself to that degree. I have a dear friend who is dealing with a very serious cancer diagnosis. She's had big surgery and big treatments going on, and the prognosis is not as good as what she would like. It's not imminent. It's not, but it's also not what she wants. On the other hand, she is one of the most spiritually centered. She's a student of Thich Nhat Hanh. She's a shaman. She's a unity teacher. She's a retired psychologist. This woman's got tools, right? And she comes to this. This is not what I desire, but she had a dream. She had a dream of the angel of death coming to visit her and sharing about the painlessness. And I'm sharing this with you with her permission. But what she said, what she was told in the dream, and then with you singing the song today, don't dream that it's over, because her angel of death, which was very beautiful and angelic, said, and then it's over. And she's being with that. She's sitting with that. She's meditating on that, of how to live her best life right now, knowing that sooner or later, one day, this experience will end. And of course we know that that's true for all of us. She said that she had found herself telling herself, I want to be well so that I can live well. I want to be well so that I could live well. And then she had the inspiration, the understanding that it should be, no, I want to live well so I could be well. By just shifting that, changing that mindset to, okay, this is my reality right now, here today. I want to live the best life that I can right now, today, to make the best choices that I can make right now, today, to feel the best that I can in any given moment. And then she will be well. It doesn't have to be about the disease in her body. Being well means being the best that we can be right now, right here, and being willing to learn from every experience that comes down the road. Don't dream it's over. Dream that right now you can be teachable. Dream that one little acorn that you can plant today will become a forest of 1,000 trees, knowing that the people that you meet on any given pathway can still be blessed with love. That you can still be blessed with love. From a soul called Joel, may you remember that each serendipitous event, divine intervention, and conscious choice is supported by grace that has led you to here and now. May you honor the present with gratitude and love right now, right here, in this present moment, to allow your light to shine. And so it is.